Hello, welcome to my channel. In this episode, I will be reviewing for you an African violet semi-miniature called Scales. It was produced in 2018 by Lebetskaia, a hybridizer living in Ukraine. By naming it Scales, she paid tribute to a late fellow hybridizer, Alexei Kuznetsov. He passed away 3 years ago in 2017. Born in 1982, Kuznetsov was the author of the miniature hybrids, starting with the prefix SK, such as SK Первая Любовь, First Love, SK Phoenix, SK Apple Orchard, or in the native language SK Яблоневый Сад, and many others. Scales was known to have been Kuznetsov's nickname in the African violet forums. I also read that Scales, this hybrid, is the only hybrid by Lebetskaia where she omits her prefix LE or Le in native language from the hybrid's name. I purchased this plant on eBay earlier this year, and it already appeared on my channel in the recent monthly blooms video. And when I filmed it last time, it was just beginning to bloom, so I wanted to make sure I showed it to you today when most of the blooms have already opened. This is a semi-miniature variety, and they are known to grow from 6 to 8 inches in diameter. This is a young plant, and I think at this point it has already reached its full size. It is about 7 inches across. The recommended pot size for adult semi-miniatures is 2.5 inches and rarely 3 inches. And right now it is growing in a 2.5 inch pot. So this may be the permanent size of its home. Scales has elongated, pointed leaves with platinum pink crown variegation. It grows quite symmetrically, and I haven't groomed it much yet. We are now still in the warmer growing season here in Southern California. Next week will be in the 90s of Fahrenheit, so which is quite warm for October. And in the winter I expect the platinum variegation will be more prominent even than it is now. It's quite highly variegated. I love the variegation on the leaves. The flowers of Scales are described as delicate heavenly blue, semi-double and double blooms. The blooms are not very large. They're about 1 to 1.25 inch in diameter. And here they are in comparison to a dime coin. And the blooms look like almost like they have the white edge around the petals, but they really don't. So they just look really heavenly blue, or cloudy sky blue, if I had to describe them best. It's a very unusual light blue color that I have rarely seen in African violet miniatures and semi-miniatures. The bloom stalks are rather tall, and they elevate the blooms above the foliage very nicely. And for the first blooming cycle, this is a good bloomer. Right now I see 4 bloom stalks, and the 5th bloom stalk is almost done blooming. I have already removed some of the spent blooms. I'm growing this plant under a combination of LED and natural light on the west-facing window, with the temperature ranging from 65 degrees Fahrenheit in the winter to 79 degrees in the summer, and the humidity around 50%. Right now we are at 77 degrees Fahrenheit and 57% humidity. It grows on a wick like most of my African violets, and I discuss my wick watering method in a video on my channel. It's called How I Wick Water My African Violets. So check it out if you'd like to know how I do this. And for wicking liquid, I use plain tap water that I let stand in open reservoirs for a few days. And I add fertilizers to it, 1/4 teaspoon per gallon of water of Dynagrow liquid plant food at 7:9:5 ratio of nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. And sometimes I switch it with a different fertilizer that is also very popular with African violet growers, and I use 1/8 teaspoon per gallon of water of this fertilizer. It's called Jack's All-Purpose 20-20-20 NPK ratio, Jack's Classic. And here it is again. Scales, a Semiminiature by Lebetskaia, dedicated to Alexei Kuznetsov. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do. I plan on always keeping it in my collection. It's a very special African violet variety.